she has not demonstrated any remorse. The manner in which the bodies were concealed, disposed of, and left to decompose lacked dignity. She put the U-Haul storage workers in a position where they had to discover the remains. Her actions will inevitably have a negative effect on her 2 teenage children. The harm to society is significant, and perhaps most aggravating, she has defeated the police investigation into the cause of death of 6 infants.
The CBC's Carolyn Bargout was at today's sentencing hearing and joins us now live from Winnipeg. So, Carolyn, we should warn our viewers first that the details are disturbing that you're about to describe. So tell us about today's sentence against Andrea Giesbrecht.
Right. I mean, today's sentencing hearing was it was pretty emotional, I think, for a lot of the people in the gallery, but Andrea Giesbrecht didn't appear to show any emotion the whole time. You know, she sat up at the front of her chair, and at some point, you know, she was biting her lip, just waiting to hear what the judge was going to say. I mean, there's a maximum of 2 years jail term for each of the 6 counts that she was convicted of, which is concealing bodies. Now, you know, I just want to take you back really quickly to 2014. So she was arrested in 2014 after 6 infant remains were found in a U-Haul storage locker. She went to trial in April of last year. She was convicted in February of this year, and then last Friday, her lawyer argued that she should get time served because she served about 168 days in jail, waiting for this case to go through the courts. So she will get about 252 days credit. So the Crown was asking for 11 years, which is almost the maximum sentence that she could get for the 6 counts that she was convicted on. So the judge started to read his decision, and it was pretty clear early on that he was going to sentence her to jail time. I don't think anyone in the court really expected it to be a prison term, a lengthy prison term. He initially sentenced her to 9.5 years in prison, then reduced it to 8.5 years because she does have 2 live children. And then with the time that she has served, she will be serving 7.8 years in prison for her crimes. We did the math. It works out to about 7 years and 10 months. Now, her lawyer, Greg Brodsky, was very shocked at this decision. I mean, the judge called it unprecedented. And when he was asking the Crown and the defense for other cases to compare to this case when he was making his decision, there wasn't any. There was only one case that Brodsky brought up with multiple deaths, and that was an infanticide case, which is not the case here. So Brodsky says that he believes his client was sentenced as if she killed someone, and he's thinking about filing an appeal.
Did she do it with intent to deceive the government? There were no marks, as you know, on the fetuses or the products of conception to show that she self-induced an abortion and killed anybody. She can't be sentenced as if she did. She can only be sentenced on what the charges are.
Okay, so as you just heard, Brodsky was not very happy with the sentence. Andrea Giesbrecht didn't really show any emotion, and the other thing that the judge pointed out was that she hadn't shown any remorse throughout this 2.5-year period. When the judge asked her if she had anything to say, she didn't, but Brodsky spoke on her behalf, and he said that his client said that, you know, she was embarrassed about what happened and that she felt really bad for her children, but didn't make any mention of the infants that were discovered, the remains that were discovered in the storage locker.
And this case, Caroline, could actually have been thrown out. Tell us about that.
Right. So, you know, the last Friday was the sentencing hearing, and so the defense and the Crown just, you know, gave their cases to the judge in hopes to convince him to either sentence jail term or not. At the end of that, Brodsky said that he was going to take the weekend to decide whether or not to file a delay motion. He wanted this case tossed out. The judge wasn't very happy about that because you're supposed to file it and give about 30 days. Brodsky gave 3 days, and it was just before the judge was supposed to give his sentence. So Brodsky basically said, you know, this case has taken 33 months to work its way through the courts. Like I mentioned earlier, Andrea Giesbrecht was arrested in October 2014. She was just convicted in February, so it's taken a long time. And last year, the Supreme Court ruled that provincial court cases have to be finished within 18 months if there is no pretrial. And Brodsky says this took 33 months. Now, the Crown says it actually took 22 months and that some of those delays could not have been prevented, but that there's a transitional period after or between the time that the Supreme Court ruled. At the end of the day, you know, the judge came back and said, nope, I'm rejecting that decision. We are going to go ahead and sentence Andrea Giesbrecht. And then after his lengthy decision, he basically said that she would be serving 7.8 years in prison.
All right, Caroline, thank you. That is the CBC's Caroline Bargout in Winnipeg.